No doubters.
Shot into right center field with speed. He'd get that triple. Let's see if he can do it. Will he try it? He's going to go for it. He's going for the cycle. And he slides and he is safe. Eric Davis, how many times do you see that? Hit for the cycle as Larkin scores. It's 9-4. But that's something you see so rarely, and the fans here know it.
There are players who dominate baseball with consistency, and then there are players who change the game the moment they step on the field. Eric Davis was the latter. He didn't just play baseball, he exploded into it. Speed that felt unfair, power that defied his size, defense that stole hits, and breaths. For a brief, unforgettable window, Eric Davis looked like the most complete player baseball had ever seen. Today, we tell the story of Eric Davis, the rise, the injuries, the what-ifs, and the undeniable legacy of one of the greatest five-tool talents the game of baseball has ever known.
There's a long drive, center field, that ball is way back, caught. Eric Davis takes his friend's home run back into the ballpark. Some friend. Unbelievable catch by Eric Davis. Well, what a story. Davis went to Fremont High. Strawberry went to Crenshaw High. They work out together in the wintertime, but they don't try things like that. Oh, that was an unbelievable catch by Eric Davis.
Born in Los Angeles in 1962, Eric Davis grew up idolizing Willie Mays and learning the game on California sandlots. Scouts quickly noticed something special. His rare blend of speed and power was almost unheard of. Drafted by the Cincinnati Reds in 1979, Davis came up in an organization rebuilding its identity. When he debuted in 1984, it was immediately clear this wasn't just another prospect. This was something different. Eric Davis could do it all. Hit for average, hit for power, steal bases at will, play Gold Glove caliber defense, throw lasers from the outfield. And in 1986 and 1987, Davis became baseball's most terrifying all-around player.
That'll be followed by Brett Boone. Davis drills this one to left. Say goodbye, good night, it's gone! It's a second-level home run.
In 1987, he hit 37 home runs, stole 50 bases, and posted an OPS over 1.00. A level of dominance almost unheard of. At his peak, only Mike Trout has matched that level of five-tool excellence. Eric Davis wasn't just great, he was historic. He became the first player in Major League Baseball history to hit 27 home runs and steal 80 bases across the 162-game span. Pitchers feared him, catchers rushed rows, and outfielders backed up to the warning track. Every time Davis reached base, something was about to happen. Baseball felt faster when Eric Davis played. But with speed came impact, and with impact came injury. Eric Davis played hard, relentlessly, fearlessly. Hamstring tears, back problems, broken bones. Each season seemed to steal a little more of what made him special. The body couldn't keep up with the brilliance. The biggest tragedy wasn't what Eric Davis became. It was what his body wouldn't allow him to remain. In 1990, Eric Davis delivered one of the gutsiest moments in World Series history. After suffering a kidney injury, diving for a ball, Davis returned to the lineup days later, still in pain, still bleeding internally, and he hit a home run in Game 1 of the World Series. That swing wasn't just baseball, it was courage. And the Reds went on to sweep the Oakland A's, and Eric Davis became a symbol of toughness and heart.
Against Pittsburgh, only 4 hits in 23 at-bats. Runner gone. Fly ball to deep center field. McGee back. It's going to go.
In 1997, Eric Davis faced his toughest battle, colon cancer. Many players would have walked away. However, Eric Davis fought back. And incredibly, he returned to the field, playing again in the major leagues. It was no longer about numbers or records. It was about survival, resilience, and the love for the game. Few stories in baseball history are more inspiring.
On an Arizona Diamondback hour that they have out in Phoenix, and I had a message in the hotel saying, please call Tom Birmingham. I had no idea who it was.
A ball and 2 strikes on Eric Davis, leading it off in the 9th inning, and that's well hit into left center field. Roberts back, looks up, and it's gone. Eric Davis goes deep here in the ALCS to make it 3-0 Orioles, and you cannot say enough about Eric Davis, what he is made up of, what he has gone through since the middle of June, diagnosed with colon cancer, undergoing an operation to remove that cancerous tumor, going through chemotherapy. And the inspirational leader not only for the Orioles, but so many people hit with cancer across this country.
So many smiles in the Oriole dugout.
What if Eric Davis stayed healthy? Many believe he would have been a 500 home run threat, a 500 stolen base player, a first ballot Hall of Famer. Even without numbers, his peak remains unmatched. Baseball doesn't always reward brilliance. However, it remembers it. When the Hall of Fame conversation turns to Eric Davis, the debate becomes one of baseball's most complicated and emotional. On paper, Eric Davis does not look like the typical Hall of Famer. His career totals: 282 home runs, 349 stolen bases, and just over 1,200 hits. Fall short of the traditional milestones voters have relied on for decades. He never reached 3,000 hits. He never reached 500 home runs. And his career was fractured by injuries that robbed him of consistency and counting stats. But Hall of Fame voting has never been just about totals. It's about impact. At his peak, Eric Davis was arguably the most complete baseball player. From 1986 through 1989, Davis posted numbers that place him among the very best in the game. Elite power, elite speed, elite defense, and a presence that changed how opposing teams played. Few players in history have ever truly been five-tool superstars at this level. Yet, Hall of Fame voters have always wrestled with one question: how do you measure greatness when brilliance burns bright? However, briefly. Eric Davis first appeared on the Hall of Fame ballot in 2007. He received minimal support and quickly fell off the ballot, not because voters questioned his talent, but because baseball historically rewarded longevity over peak dominance. Still, many players, baseball writers, and historians argue that Eric Davis represents something deeper than raw numbers. He represents a standard of excellence, a player whose peak forced the league to adjust, a player whose talent, when healthy, rivaled the greatest to ever play the game. The Hall of Fame, at its core, is meant to tell baseball's story. And any honest telling of that story must include Eric Davis. Because while his career may not fit neatly into a statistical box, his greatness, his speed, his power, his courage, and his impact remains undeniable. The question isn't whether Eric Davis was good enough. The question is whether the Hall of Fame is willing to honor peak greatness the same way it honors longevity. And for many fans, the answer is already clear.
To argue when you do that. Gives the Reds 4 big ones on the board, and it turns Mark Leiter into a winner, into a possible loser. A grand slam home run for ED, and look at this welcome.
Eric Davis wasn't just a player, he was electricity. And for those who watched him, baseball has never quite felt the same. Eric Davis didn't play baseball. He redefined what was possible on the diamond. For a moment of time, he was faster than anyone, stronger than anyone, and more complete than almost anyone the game had ever seen. Pitchers feared him, defenses adjusted for him, and fans leaned forward every time he stepped into the box. Injuries may have shortened his career, but they never diminished the greatness. For Eric Davis proved that dominance doesn't need decades to leave a mark. Sometimes brilliance burns brighter precisely because it doesn't last forever. His story is not one of unrealized potential. It's one of extraordinary peaks, unforgettable moments, and relentless courage. The Hall of Fame debate will continue, numbers will be compared, and ballots will be debated. But legacy isn't always measured in totals. Sometimes it's measured in how the game felt when you watched someone play it. And when Eric Davis was on the field, baseball felt electric. And if you enjoyed this episode of Baseball Legends Chronicles, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And let us know in the comments, do you believe Eric Davis is a true Hall of Famer? Because some legends don't need a plaque to be immortal.